Hi, I'd like to talk to you about flints today. Now, in areas such as Dorset there's a lot of chalk, and where you find chalk you'll probably find flints. You go to a museum and you see flint tools displayed there, and you think, well, they're fantastic, and they've been made tens or even hundreds of thousands of years ago. But in fact, if you're careful and you look closely, especially when you're walking over ploughed fields, you might find quite a lot of flints just lying on the surface. Now you might think, how am I going to tell which has been made by a human being and which has been made by nature and has just been brought up by the plough? Well, the way I do it is I have 4 points to look for when I'm looking at flints. And the first one is the striking platform. Now on this flint here, you might be able to see that it's actually flat on the top. So always look for that, because somebody's made that flat. Number 2 is that when they strike the flint, it's like throwing in a pebble into a pond. It creates ripples. So always look on the surface for these ripples. And that means that somebody's come along and hit this piece of flint. Number 3 is when they're striking the flint to create individual flakes, they're quite regular. So always look on the surface of the flint and you'll see regular flakes running down, and you think, whatever's regular must have been made by somebody, because nature doesn't really create regular shapes. It's quite irregular. And finally, number 4 is look along the edge. So on this one particularly, there's little nibbles. So that means somebody's come along and they've gone clip, 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 perhaps with a piece of harder stone or an antler, and they've created a serrated edge, which makes it a lot sharper and easier to use as a tool. So, number 1, look for the striking platform. Number 2, look for those ripples. Number 3 is the regular breaking off of flakes. And number 4, those little nibbles along the edge of the tool, which makes it a lot sharper to use. So, when you're next out into the countryside, don't just look at the trees and the birds, have a look at your feet, and if you see some flints lying on the surface, pick them up and have a look, and remember those 4 points. And perhaps one day you'll find something that somebody has made thousands or even tens of thousands of years ago. Good hunting!